Hello, welcome to Airing Out. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jonas.
And this is Jerry. And today we are going to be talking about 3:10 to Yuma, because it is time to take a train.
Yes, 3:10 is a time of day.
Yes.
Not just random numbers like 21 Jump Street.
Yes.
Because that's a random number. That's just random.
That's a street number.
No.
But I think we should start off by saying, as we always do over movie reviews,
Yes.
For me, this is a good film, worth seeing.
This is a good
Go
film,
watch
worth
it.
seeing. Go watch it. There will be spoilers, of course, so
Yep.
stop.
But
go,
if you just
and-
want our should I watch this movie, yes, it's on. Where do we watch on Prime? No, I own this one. It is available on Prime. Like
I
to
think
buy.
it is.
Yeah, like you can get it. It's worth renting. Maybe not owning. I don't know. It's not that rewatchable. Like there's nothing super nuanced in it or anything.
That's true.
But it's a solid Western made after the year 2000.
Yeah, I
Which-
quite like it because it isn't like your standard Western of like just cowboys and guns and stuff. It has more.
It's got a bit of world building to it, but it doesn't fall into the
It's-
trap of.
It's less mindless action for the sake of it.
Oh no!
What?
I drink your milkshake.
Well, it's got Christian Bale, it's
what's
got
the
Russell
film?
Crowe, it's got...
I Google. There Will Be Blood. So that's another Western. But
Okay.
that falls into the trap of not being an interesting movie
I see.
because it's too focused on the world building of the Western and the character drama.
I see.
Whereas this does have...
Where are you going with this?
No. So in terms of... It has the shootouts. Like, it's still interesting to watch from a action
yeah.
Western point of view, but it doesn't like Magnificent Seven, the remake, where you're just like... Okay.
No one cares.
Yeah. So it does a really good job of mixing the character development with the kind of action and the tension and the villains, and there's multiple villains on each side and stuff, which is really, really interesting.
Oh, I love having bad guys, or like you don't know whether they're bad or not. Like you sympathize with the antagonist, and you hate some of the guys who are on the good guy side.
Yeah.
It's great.
100%.
It's great. It's very complex and yeah, definitely keeps you on your toes until the very end.
No, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, going full spoilers. I think the twist in Russell Crowe's character is a little late.
Well, I don't think it's a twist per se. I
The
think
change.
His change is too... They leave it too late, and therefore it's too sudden.
Well, it's this story about Christian Bale losing his leg that reveals this, like this is his heroic moment that his kid's gonna see.
Yeah.
But it's just a bit. But I understand from like, so Charlie, if he was the whole time being like, boss, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Then he wouldn't kill
Mm-hmm.
the thing at the end. Like, it would be more of, or less of a surprise.
Charlie's like the sidekick of Russell
He's got
Crowe's bad
the
guy
double
character.
revolvers. Yeah. But he's like evil.
Yeah, he's evil. He's just...
But I think that's good. So on both sides, though, there's like the. I mean, you could say Christian Bale doesn't do anything that's bad, really. Like, he's true good, and then Charlie be true evil, and then everyone else is a shade of grey.
Yeah.
Which is nice. So Charlie's like, you've got to point your hate at somebody. That's who you're going for.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it needs to be that late for his. Like, he gives Russell Crowe his guns back.
Yeah.
I think if he was running the whole time, you're like, why aren't you dropping? Like, why can't you just help you?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Too late. So yeah, I think it's fine.
But in general, I mean, to outline the plot, I guess it is Russell Crowe's character, who's
Ben Wade.
Ben Wade, exactly. He's an outlaw, and he's doing a lot of killing, which makes him a really bad person.
He's doing a lot of robbing. He doesn't kill for the sake of killing. He's always
he
people
robs.
are dying.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you have Christian Bale's character, who's actually just a farmer, but he helps capture Ben Wade.
Yeah.
And then wants to get more money out of actually bringing him to the 3:10 train to Yuma, which is the train to the prison.
Yeah.
And like, if they manage to get this prisoner, this outlaw on that train, then mission is accomplished and everyone is
He gets
happy.
his money. He gets
But
his
obviously, Ben Wade has a gang who is
after them.
hot on their heels, trying to get their boss
So
back.
it's a chase across the Wild West.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think it does a really good job of not being so contained, so you're not in that problem of being stuck in one town the whole film.
Yep.
But then it doesn't need to span like a decade Where some westerns just get bogged down in all this weird character dilemmas that don't really exist anymore. So then you kind of
Yeah. I do. What I really like is that they draw on so many things, but they don't have to flesh it out because it's like it's enough as is, because they have the Native Americans. They talk about how they've been kicked out of their lands, and then some of them remain there, and those are the ones that are there to kill. And like that's enough. That's all you need to know. You know the conflict. We all know the conflict that had been going on, like was going on.
And even the Chinese workers.
Yeah, even the presumably Chinese.
They're referred to as Chinese in the film.
Okay, so the Chinese workers in the mines.
I think as well, like, so another Western, so Lone Ranger.
Pinkertons.
Not a good Western. It has its merits, but it's not a good movie by any means. But that whole film is about the railroad, which just isn't really applicable in today's life at all. And it's not like a warning for like businesses nowadays. Like, the world is capitalist. That's how we've gone, or at least the Western world. So like, but the whole problem is the guy that owns the farmland, or the land around the farmland, wants him off. So he's cut off all his water so they can sell land and get the railroad.
Yeah, so Christian Bale's in a very bad spot.
But the film isn't about that.
No.
You know, but like, you could go and flesh that out and make a 3-hour film about the railroad coming in.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like, this is irrelevant. Like, this happened. Sure, it's not really a bad thing. Like, I mean, you need a country to be connected. It sucks for some farmers, but what are you gonna do? So I think it is nice that they kind of acknowledge things and kind of go, this happened. Other films do it better.
Yeah.
We don't have time for all that. We've got a film about, well, this outlaw Ben Wade and taking him in, and they very focused on that. So I think the film's long, but it's not too long.
Yeah,
like it's a couple hours.
I do like that it has a lot of character moments in it.
Yeah.
And especially especially Russell Crowe's character gets a lot of
good,
like cool moments, and Christian Bale gets a lot of deep moments.
Yeah, I think the one character I don't like is the son.
Yeah, he's a bit annoying.
Just irritating. He's like, so he's in that age, I guess, where like you don't like your family and you want nothing to do with them, and you're like, oh, I'm never gonna be like you, Dad.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, his dad lost his leg in the war.
I think it's too, like, there's no development to that.
Yeah.
And there's no real change at the end, and I think that's a bit of an
issue.
He
respects his
like,
dad now.
Huh?
He respects him.
See, I'm not buying that.
I just don't like, even when he's doing it, he's just annoying. So
I mean,
it's a
really good motivation for Christian Bale's character to go on this journey, as in like, I will finally have a hero story that is actually a hero story and not a fake story to tell to my kids. Brilliant, because that is so worth so much more than $200 to him. But there's something weird about the son. I would get if it's like established way more that he has a different sense of morality, as in like he is actually drawn towards the outlaw side, or like at least
gunslinging, like he likes shooting.
Yeah,
which just isn't there.
Or like it's the whole thing of like he wants to leave the ranch, he wants to live in a city. Like there should be some other conflict between him and the dad.
I think the problem is there is. It's like the thing, they could have fleshed out his interactions with his brother more, because his brother's the reason they're living out there is because he's got tuberculosis and needs the dry climate. But the little brother is very, like, he's barely got any screen time. And I think while that comes as a nice surprise later on for Christian Bale and Russell Crowe's character moment, it would be nice if there was some animosity between the two brothers then, to be like, you're the reason we're stuck in this dump. You know? Which it would be nice, but at the same time, I think the character is hideously annoying, and I'm glad he didn't get more screen time.
No, he seems. I think he's the character that seems most flat.
Yeah.
And for him to be so angry,
I also
and annoying,
hate his accent.
Is
like, Pa.
Yeah.
No, where are you going, Pa?
It's just like for him to be an annoying character, and then the most flat is like just doubles.
Yeah, he's the one that I'm like, you could take him out, and the film would be just fine. Have some other character in his place.
Would be all right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, even take him out completely, and don't give him. I don't know. I guess they need some twists of like
some way for him to get captured again.
As like yeah.
But you could do it. I think like thing that stands out for this though, in terms of like modern westerns, because there's not many, after like the spaghetti western era, is it looks grimy and dirty and it feels very realistic. Because I don't count Westworld as a western because that's a sci-fi show.
Yeah.
And then the Deadwood is like,
I don't know.
it's a TV show.
Okay.
It's fine, but nothing really. It's all character moments.
Okay.
Really. There's nothing, and there's some really annoying characters in that show. That's one of the slaves of like, you've got a cast of 20 characters, 19 of them are so well written and well done, and you've got that one that you're just like, I hate every second that you're on screen.
I feel that's such a reality TV thing. Like, you have to keep the annoying person part of the show just to have that annoying person. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you just make it interesting without someone being annoying.
Yeah, no, but apart from that, you've got, I mean, the Tarantino films, which are good, but he classes them as a southern, like Django is a southern.
Yeah.
And a snow western, which is very specific. True Grit is long. Magnificent Seven, the remake, is terrible. It's Disney clean. It's just nothing. Is it Unforgiven? I don't know. It's the one.
Not Unbroken.
There's one. No, it's definitely not Unbroken. There's one that's Christian Bale, and he's like, it's very related to the Native Indian. Dilemma, I guess, that they had. Native American.
Yeah, Native American.
Whoops, slip of the tongue. But
I guess back then that's
that's what they refer to. So you get used to whatever they say. But yeah. So it's very related to that. The whole film is about that. Really good film. But again, not really like... I think this is one of the only like action-y with still good character moment westerns.
Yeah, because it's not that... I think that's what I like. It's not an action film, but it has good action in it.
Yeah.
And that keeps the pace really well. You have a lot of stages of like where he frees himself and gets captured right away. He gets captured by a different group and they have to fight together in order to get him out of there. That kind of stuff. And then I really like the little situations they have in Yuma. No, not in Yuma.
In the town where the Yuma is.
Where the train leaves. Really cool moments. When they finally encounter, like have the confrontation with the gang. It's really cool stuff.
And even the like subgroup they get, where like they're like torturing him and they're just like not interested in the legalities. They're like, no, this guy killed my brother. I want to kill him. Yeah. You know, and they're like, we now have to fight you to get our prisoner back to then go and hang him. And you're just like, I mean, this was so how it would have been at the time, where you're just like, it's lawful, but still kind of lawless. You know, like we're almost civilized.
Yeah, it's like, he is going to die, but not the way you want it. It still needs to be done the right way. I think that's actually very funny. And all the characters develop, it's like the doctor develops well, and the characters that don't develop too much, like the guy that works for the railroad. No, not the railroad, but the guy that works for. Oh, the guy who burns the barn. Burns the barn. Yeah. His character doesn't really develop. He's just annoying and not very nice. But he dies super early, so it's not really a problem. No, that's. I think it's funny because that's obviously he gets killed by Russell Crowe's character, but it's also such like, I would have killed him too. Yeah, like that's fine. Fair enough. Annoying. Yeah. He's also probably keeping everyone else up who is singing, so you're just like, yeah. I was thinking the same thing. It's like, you're not just keeping. Yeah, you're keeping everyone up. But and it's an interesting like they've got an interesting critique on that kind of money drive at the end, where they're like, we'll pay anyone that kills one of the sheriffs. Yeah. And you're like, So there's definitely an element there of what people are willing to do for money. Like Christian Bale's whole motivation is to do it for money. Until the very end. He's like, no, I need the cash, you know, and even goes to confront Ben Wade and he's like, you've cost me a day's work. Yeah. $5, you know? And you're like, his sole motivation is money, and it's only when he does something, like the motivation comes away from that Ben's actually on his side. And he ends up killing his entire gang. Yeah. Which are all money motivated. So I wonder if there's a deeper critique there. Absolutely, probably. Josh. I think there is. But I don't think the film's really deep enough to go into that. Like, I think it's... But I like that. It's addressing the problem without doing anything with it. It's not in your face, and it's not like, oh, look at all these capital people and capitalist people. Oh, and, like, that's what's making them bad. But you definitely, I mean, that's absolutely true, because you also have the guy who's like working for the railroad, and he's like, in the end, he's like,
I can give you the money.
I can give you the money.
Yeah.
But Christian Bale's like, no, I've been here before. You're just paying yourself out, out of guilt for.
But I think it's
putting
because
me in
it's
this
good because a film
position.
can have a message without having a point. I think is the way
Mm.
kind of phrase that. So it's like the whole point of the film isn't
Yeah.
money is bad, but the message that is the case is in there, which is nice because I think films that they're one and the same, you end up with a bit of a problem of like, it's just tiring. Films like that.
I think what it does is that you can see that, read that, and then make up your mind about what it actually means.
Yeah.
In the end, so you can say, all money is bad because it corrupts people.
Yeah.
Or you're like, you gotta.
Or I think films that are like
It has the
ham-fisting that in,
possibility.
you just be like, okay, we get it, great, well done.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas just have that little bit in there,
Just
but
a
actually
little
be about a character's development.
Just a little, yeah.
A little bit. But no, very, very watchable movie.
I have, I really like the scene with Ben Wade in the family home, so the ranch stuff, but I'm also like a little bit weary of how easy it was for him to have whatever the wife's name is Alice, exactly, attracted to him. I was
it's
like,
Russell Crowe.
I was like,
and her eyes are green.
Because he does that twice. I'm like, this is a bit too much.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I guess Russell Crowe is very charming.
In the bar, it was already like, bruh.
On the bar I was like, does he know her? He doesn't know her. Wow.
No, he has seen her.
He's seen her before, but she doesn't know him.
But she doesn't know him.
Which is like.
And then he makes a full-on move of like.
Well, he's like hands around her neck.
Yeah.
Behind the bar, you're just like.
He creeps up on her from the back and then just puts his hand on her neck. I was like, that is such
it's not
a
even like.
move.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It almost reminds me of like that bit when Bane is like, "Do you feel in control?" Like even with like an open palm, and you're just like, whoo, chilling. I'd love to do that to somebody. Like just to know.
Like randomly.
Like if I was in like a position of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you couldn't do that these days because you're not allowed. Well, you're not allowed to touch anyone.
I mean,
but like just like lay the hand on the shoulder and be like, "Do you feel in control?" And you're like,
especially if you are the person who is on a higher higher in the hierarchy, then to do that just to out of fun would be so bad.
No, you'd have to be in a place of like where they think they're higher than you, but you are the one leading things, like Bane is, and you just be like, power. But he does go for it, and I was a bit like, oh right, she doesn't know him. Wow, okay.
But I think that's in a way okay, because you don't know if she's, I don't know.
Yeah.
If she is into that, or like that's not explained at all, or maybe she also hopes to actually get money out of that, and.
I mean, it'd be a good life to live with a well-paid criminal. I think my favorite moment in the film is definitely when they're waiting for the train. Like Christian Bale and Russell Crowe are like at the box, they're waiting for it, and Russell Crowe comes clean, and he's just like, "You should know I've been to Yuma prison before," and you kind of see Christian Bale's face drop a bit, and he's like, twice. And you're just like, oh
and
no.
I skipped twice. And
then just as the train goes away with him on it, you hear a whistle and the horse following.
Yeah.
You're like, even though he's killed his entire gang, he'll be just fine. Like he's got a stash of money somewhere.
It's very cool.
I really enjoy the film. But we will wrap it up there because we've chatted.
Yeah.
Go away, watch the film, let us know what you think down below.
Exactly.
And if there's any westerns we've not mentioned that have come out in the last 25 years.
Ooh, that's a long period.
I think that's like a modern film. That's filmed on digital with color grading and all that rubbish.
And if you spotted any similarities between that film and Red Dead Redemption 2,
there is a lot.
Although all of them in the comments.
What I will say is, to clarify, I've seen all of the old westerns. I had a summer of like, I should probably watch these, and I watched literally all of them.
Literally.
I think with the exception of High Noon, which I just missed. Like it's not available anywhere, and I don't want to buy a black and white movie. That seems so superfluous. But apart from that, I've seen them all. So recommend the new ones that we haven't seen and haven't mentioned here.
That you haven't seen, because I've seen very little.
Really?
I think so.
Oh wow, okay. Maybe we do need to watch them then. Oh, they're so long.
No, I wouldn't want to watch old Western either.
Oh.
Like, I'm fine with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood Western.
It's not a Western.
No, but the scenes that they're shooting in Hollywood are...
Oh, I see. I thought you meant like Once Upon a Time in the West. I was like, that's a proper old Western. But no, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has Western scenes, I understand. Right. Bye!